I love my cousin Jacob. Growing up, he was my best friend. In my eyes, he could do no wrong. Everything he did was the best. He was the fastest, the strongest, the smartest, the funniest. Everyone loved Jacob. Jacob was the kid we all wanted to be around. Really, the kid we all just wanted to be. But as we grew older, things started to change. Our relationship started to change. I started to change. He started to change. At least I thought so. Perhaps he was always like this and I just didn't know or didn't see it. Yes, he was smart and he worked hard. But sometimes people I didn't know and he didn't know accused him of lying and cheating. He was fast and strong, and he protected me from bullies. But often people he was protecting me from then accused him of being a bully. But I loved him because he was my family and he was my friend. And yet, as the years went by, we grew apart. I just kept hearing things about him and it confused me. I was hearing it from friends. I was hearing it from people I trusted. I saw him less and less. He didn't come around much anymore, and I didn't seek him out either. I have to imagine the gossip and the accusations were getting to him, and instead of talking to him about it, I stayed quiet. Once a year, I would send a card on his birthday and he on mine. Sometimes not even that much, but I would still hear about him, his accomplishments, his success in business and science and technology. He was doing things few could even imagine. He was changing the world, changing it for good, and I was proud. Yet I still heard the noise that he was mean or confused, scared, and angry. And I couldn't take it anymore. I needed to reach out and reconnect with my family, to love him and to help him, to let him know that I am here, that I am proud of him, and that if he was hurting, I would help. And to let him know that I know he is not superhuman, but rather human with flaws and challenges and loves and goodness. And I am here for him because I know who he can be. And I would say to him that I'm sorry. I'm sorry I listened to others instead of asking and listening and talking to him. And I know as much as Jacob needs me, I need him. He is part of me. And I am part of him. No matter how much I used to deny it or ignore it, it's true. We are forever connected. Sound familiar? It should, because Jacob is your family too. But you know him by another name. You know Jacob as Israel. As we gather here on this day of Yom Kippur, we stand together as a community reflecting on our lives, reflecting on our choices, and envisioning our path forward. Today, both personally and communally, I challenge us to explore, examine, and engage our relationship with Israel. Specifically, what Rabbi Dr. Laura Novak-Weiner calls the tension between Ahavat Yisrael, the love of Israel, and Yediat Yisrael, intimately knowing Israel. This tension is not merely academic. It is something that affects our families, our community, and our future. Many of our young people, our college students, our future leaders are grappling with their relationship with Israel in ways that are causing me, real fear. They are questioning what they were taught, and in their eyes did not prepare them for the complexity of the Israel they now see and hear about. We are all bombarded with images and half-truths, hot-wired emotion, twisted stories, and outright lies. And not just by their peers and our peers, but leaders who they've trusted and that we've trusted. We are all caught in a web of noise and confusion across a spectrum of anti-Semitism, often without even realizing it. So it is essential that we address with depth the depth that it deserves. Ahavat Yisrael, the love of Israel, is a fundamental value in Judaism. It is the love of our people, our history, our shared destiny. This love has sustained us through centuries of exile, persecution, and yearning. For the vast majority of Jews, Ahavat Yisrael extends naturally to the modern state of Israel, a fulfillment of 2,000 years of prayers and of dreams. The existence of Israel is a source of pride, a foundation of Jewish sovereignty, culture, and strength. However, when we speak of Ahavat Yisrael in the context of the state of Israel, we need to be clear and complete. When we teach our children only about the accomplishments of Israel, the miraculous victories, the technological innovations, the thriving culture, this narrative, while inspiring, is incomplete. It is a love that does not honor the full reality of Israel, a love that does not engage with the complexities and challenges and dangers and threats and the real Israel faces every day. Some might argue that focusing on the positive is essential for fostering Ahavat Yisrael, especially among young people. I was one of them. I feared that if we exposed them to Israel's bumps and bruises, scars, to the complicated questions, I might weaken or, God forbid, destroy their connection to the Jewish state. But is a love that cannot withstand the whole picture a love that will last? A love that will endure? Is it fair to our children to shield them from a full picture, only for them in the future to potentially feel confused or even deceived when they encounter reality on their own? Yediat Yisrael, truly knowing Israel, requires courage. It requires us to teach not just the inspiring moments, but also the difficult ones. It means engaging with Israel's history, its politics, its society, in all of its vibrant complexity, all age appropriate, of course. This is not about undermining Israel or diminishing our love for it. On the contrary, Yediat Yisrael is about deepening that love through knowing and understanding. Knowing Israel means exploring its creation, understanding the wars fought in its defense, and acknowledging an ongoing conflict with the Palestinians and many of Israel's neighbors. Our people are fighting and defending themselves on 7 fronts. It means recognizing the rich diversity within Israeli society. The Ashkenazi, Sfaradi, Mizrahi, the secular, the religious, the Jewish, Arab, non-Arab citizens of Israel, and the tensions that exist between these groups and subgroups. Some might worry that by teaching this fuller picture, we are giving ammunition to those who seek to delegitimize Israel, to those who are anti-Zionist, anti-Semitic, and let's not fool ourselves, Jews are among them. But the opposite is true. When we do not teach Yediat Yisrael, we do not equip ourselves and our children with the full story. We leave ourselves vulnerable. We leave ourselves unprepared to engage in the debates that are happening on college campuses, in the media, all around us and all over the world. If we feel we are not given a complete picture, this can lead to the rejection of Israel entirely, or worse, indifference to its fate. I refuse to allow this to happen. Yediyat Yisrael does not weaken Ahavat Yisrael. It makes it stronger. It allows us to love Israel not as an abstract ideal, but as a real, complex, and perfectly imperfect nation. It allows us to be proud of Israel's accomplishments while also helping to work through its challenges. And most importantly, it allows us to be a part of the ongoing conversation about Israel's future. Today, we are all caught between two forms of anti-Semitism, which Rabbi Jonathan Sachs refers to as Hanukkah anti-Semitism and Purim anti-Semitism. Hanukkah anti-Semitism, like the Hellenists versus the Maccabees, seeks to erase our Jewish identity, to assimilate us into a broader culture that denies our uniqueness. Purim anti-Semitism, like the plot of Haman, seeks our actual physical death and destruction just because of who we are. Hanukkah anti-Semitism today, especially for our college students, manifests in the pressure to conform to a certain ideological perspective, to distance themselves from Israel in order to fit into the broader progressive movement. They are pressured to deny the unique bond between Jews and Israel, to see Israel not as the fulfillment of Jewish aspirations, but as some colonialist enterprise. Sure, you can be one of us, but it also means you can no longer be one of them. Or in other words, you can no longer be you. Purim anti-Semitism, on the other hand, the overt hatred and violence against Jews, now justified under the guise of anti-Zionism. It is the demonization of Israel and, by extension, of all Jews, leading to violent anti-Semitism around the world and also on the streets of Los Angeles. Make no mistake, our history has proven time and time and time again, Hanukkah anti-Semitism always leads to Purim anti-Semitism. We are pressured to conform to one while being targeted by the other. And if we feel that we do not have the tools to know Israel, when we feel we only know part of the story, we are left vulnerable to all of these pressures. So what do we do? What's the path forward? How do we balance Ahavat Yisrael, our love for Israel, and Yediyat Yisrael, truly and intimately knowing Israel, in a way that prepares us, and maybe more importantly, our young people, to engage with the world, to stand up for Israel, and to do so with a foundational integrity? We teach the full story of Israel. This means teaching the 3,000-year-old history of Zionism. The wars of 1948, 67, 73, 82, 06, 23, 24, the peace process, and the ongoing conflict. It means teaching about the diversity of Israeli society, the challenges Israel faces, and the efforts towards peace. It means teaching the beauty and the accomplishments and the challenges and the shortcomings, the bumps and the bruises. We foster a love of Israel that is rooted in reality. This is love that withstands criticism, that can acknowledge flaws and engage in complicated conversations. It is a love that is deepened by knowledge, not threatened by it, and thus prepares us to engage with the world, to stand up to anti-Semitism in all of its forms, and to do so with confidence and pride in our Jewish identity. And clearly, of course, We visit Israel. We visit the people. We meet the people. We make new friends. We connect with old friends and family. We ask questions. We listen. We laugh. We argue. We eat. And we love. As we move through Israel, Israel will move through us. I believe Ahavat Yisrael and Yediyat Yisrael are not mutually exclusive. Loving Israel means knowing Israel, and knowing Israel means loving it in all of its colorful nuance and complexity. This is the foundation of a relationship with Israel that is strong, enduring, and real. As we stand here on Yom Kippur, reflecting on our lives, our community, and our future, let us remember that true unconditional love, whether for a person, a people, or a nation, is not blind. True unconditional love is a love that sees, that knows, that engages, that endures. May we all be blessed with such a love for Israel, and may it guide us in the year to come. Am Yisrael Chai.